Hey y'all, I'm Monique, and this is More Than Massage, the show where we're going to talk about what's really going on, what pain is, why it keeps showing up, and how to finally work with it instead of going against it. Today's show will benefit both you and your client, so stay tuned, dive in, get curious, ask questions, send me something if you want to know more about this, because this method changed my world. It's a little bit personal, it's a little bit radical, but I'm going to share it with you anyways. Pain is not just physical. It never was. It never will be. Pain is mental, it's emotional, it's energetic, it's metaphysical. It shows up in your health, your wealth, and your relationships. And if we ignore that, we're going to keep treating symptoms while the root cause keeps growing underground. So today, let's talk about how your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotional experiences will manifest in your physical body as symptoms. What I call the truth. Your body will not stop speaking. Let's dive in. I bet you've heard it before. Your thoughts create your reality, right? We've all heard that. But most people stop at things like vision boards or affirmations or what they call manifestation. But here's what I mean. If you think a thought long enough, especially one tied to emotion, your body believes it's real. And once your body believes it's real, it starts reacting. You'll get things like muscle tension, digestion changes, hormone shifts. Your posture might adapt, and yes, even pain can start to develop. And here's a silly example, but a true one. When you start thinking about things like a yellow car, the next thing you know, you see a yellow car. Why is that? Were they always there? Yes, absolutely. There's always been yellow cars, but now you're tuned into them, you're focused on them, and you begin to see them because that's where your attention is, that's where your focus is. The same things happen with things like fear and failure and unworthiness. And when your mind keeps scanning for these stressors or these reflections or these dangers and problems, your body responds as if it's already happening, even if it's not really happening. And that's how thoughts become tension, tension and stress become pain, and pain becomes the story that the body keeps repeating. We stay in what I consider a think feel cycle, right? So you think a thought, you feel a feeling, you feel a feeling, you think a thought about it, you think a thought, you feel a feeling, and you just keep going into this spiral. So let's take this a little bit deeper for understanding. Emotional energy becomes physical pain because most of us are walking around with unprocessed emotions in our body, unfelt perceptions, things that happened in our life, these moments, these imprints that we lived that maybe weren't ideal or fun or exciting, but maybe had more of a negative influence, right? And we're living with us in our body, and most of us have been taught to hold it together, stay positive, don't cry over that. Or people have hugged us or handed us Kleenexes or not wanted us to feel the discomfort because it's uncomfortable for them to watch. The problem with this is that emotions don't move through us when those things happen. They stay in us. They find a spot. They make a home, an imprint. They settle into places like the chest, the gut, the jaw, hips, shoulders, low back. And they might show up as things like TMJ, IBS, migraines, chronic fatigue, pain that no imaging can explain. You ever had clients or yourself gone somewhere, talked to a doctor, they ran tests, they took imaging, maybe did MRIs and x-rays, but there wasn't really anything that made sense? These aren't random. These are messages from our body. And we've been taught to numb them instead of listen. We often do things like scroll social media, drink alcohol, eat food, check out. We eject because we don't know how to feel the discomfort and process them. Remember, you must feel to heal. That's not just a tagline, it's the truth. And so if you're not feeling, or if you're feeling and it's uncomfortable and then you're ejecting and going somewhere else, you're not actually addressing the problem. So let's move into the metaphysical layer, which is what I really love. This is the juicy part. This isn't woo. It's ancient. It's observed. And honestly, it's deeply intuitive once you turn in. And here's a few examples of what I see in my work all the time. Things like neck pain, right? The client comes in with chronic neck pain. It's often about refusing to see another perspective, carrying unspoken truth, feeling like your voice is stuck between your mind and your heart, right? That's where the throat is. That's where the voice is. Totally makes sense. I think a thought, I want to share it. I want to share something, but I think I'll get in trouble, right? And so now there's this conflict behind expressing. We might have throat problems. We might have neck problems if something like this is going on. Our low back can be tied to feeling unsupported, financial stress, family burdens, survival mechanisms, and tension that's been there for years. Might not even be yours. It might have come from your environment or your home or your society or your religion even. Things like hip pain or birthing new ideas, big transitions. It's fear of moving forward. It's feeling stuck in that indecision. If you're struggling with something like shoulder pain, you might be carrying the weight of the world or a responsibility that might not even be yours or anymore, right? You might have given it to somebody else, but your body's still holding it. This is overgiving, people pleasing, things like that are going to show up in our shoulders. You might even feel like you're getting stabbed in the back by someone, right? If it's right in that scapula place. Your jaw tension, holding back anger, swallowing your words, suppressing emotion, avoiding confrontation. Nobody wants to fight. So we think confrontation is a problem. I've learned something different over the years. My point is, once you begin to look at this pain in this way, everything can change. You stop asking what's wrong with me and you start saying, what's my body? What's my unconscious? What's my subconscious trying to show me, trying to tell me? The super cool part about this as a massage therapist, this can change your business. You could change from just working on muscles to working on the root of what's going on. You're touching the story of someone's life when you touch their body. And sometimes they might have memories of it. They might share and express. They might have emotion or a vision that comes up. Or likewise, when you touch something, you might have an intuitive moment or like know something's there, something beyond the physical tension. You're touching the story of their life. And if you ignore that, if you try to force release with physical manipulation, you'll be hit with resistance from the body. And worse, you can miss the moment and exhaust your physical body trying to help them do something that their body is not prepared or ready for. But if you listen, if you hold space, if you understand that pain is just a messenger between the brain and the body, then you become more than a massage therapist. You become the translator of the two languages. Okay, so that was a lot really quick. So I'm going to slow down and back it up. What do you do with this awareness, right? I know that some of you are out there and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you're asking, okay, what do I do with this? You're right, I know. Here's what I can suggest. Pay attention to the pain that keeps coming back or the pain that's been around for a long time. If a client leaves and their body is feeling good and they come back a few weeks later and they're all jacked up again, this could be the problem. Ask yourself, what has been happening emotionally when this started? What were they going through? Or if it's for yourself, what was I going through, right? Maybe you notice it in yourself and not clients. That's okay too. We just want to have awareness that this could be something else other than a physical pain or situation that your body is going through. So, what happened when this started? What was I experiencing? What was going on even a few weeks or a month before? Notice if there's any thoughts that continue to repeat in your head, or thoughts about how this feels in your body, this pain, this discomfort, right? Begin connecting sensations with the story. Notice if, when you're stressed, you have a lot more physical tension, if the body protects and holds. And with your clients, begin to trust that what you're sensing might be more than just fascia or muscle or tissue, that it could be grief or fear or anger or a boundary that was never set. This is exactly why I do mind-body work and why I teach mind-body work in the world. Because once you understand this layer, you will never go back to a traditional massage again. So, here's where we are. If you're intrigued by this and you want to learn more, you have two options. Reach out, ask me questions. Get with me. I'll tell you exactly what I know about this work. Or, if you want to experience it yourself, come into live workshops where we're going to break this down and talk about it in real life experiences. Feel free to join us this year in October, right here in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, where I am hosting the first annual Women in Holistic Wellness Conference. This is more than just a conference. It is a place for holistic practitioners to join and gather and network and learn about things like the mind-body connection, metaphysical work, psychosomatics, how this shows up in your health, your wealth, your relationships, your body, your bedroom, your bank account, where it comes from, and what to do with it. But by the time you leave this conference, you will have an understanding of what mind-body connection is and what to do with it, how to use it for yourself, and how to apply it in your business that could help you make more money as a practitioner. If you're interested in being trained with this, let me know. We do have some opportunity coming up for that. So that's all I've got for today. Remember, pain is not just physical. It's emotional, it's mental, it's energetic, and it's metaphysical. And if you truly want to help someone heal, start listening to what their body is saying, not just what it's doing. Thank you for being here with me today. If this resonated with you, make sure you share it with another therapist who's ready to take the work deeper, not harder. Next week, we will explore how to know if a client is storing emotional trauma and what to do with it. We'll talk about patterns, posture, body language, when to speak and when to stay quiet. This is More Than Massage. I'm Monique Derwin, and I'm so glad to have you here with me today. See you soon.